Up YouTube, NeoNexudus here, bringing you a deck profile with Dark Magician 84 as the cameraman.
Hello.
Today I'm bringing you a little rare treat. I'm showing off my April 2005 format deck that you will see me dueling with likes of Dark Magician to get your user when he gets his deck together and stuff like that. So, without further ado, let's start with the monsters. We got 4 boss monsters. We got our BLS, our Gizno, Zaborg, Air Knight Parsha. BLS is just a really good top deck card late in the game because it can really suit you the game. Jinzo's great, even early game, for when they have lots of set back row and you're sort of dubious on what they are. Just summon that Jinzo and, you know, they're kind of screwed.
Pretty much.
Unless they play the Book of Moon, of course.
Yeah.
Or do what I did to Richie and Book of Moon, then no one to cross out.
Oh, that is a horrible combo.
Zaborg, you know, it's nice field clearance for monsters. Nice 2/4 beat stick, but sometimes you just, you know, want to get that little bit of extra protection in and play Metamorphosis on it. And then you got Air Knight Parsha, which is just a brilliant card in my opinion. It inflicts battle damage to your opponent. You draw a card, and it even has piercing damage.
And even if they die, they're just chaos for you, pretty much.
Exactly. We've got Araxian Universe, which came out right towards the end of the April 05 format. This guy's really good. He's Chaos Food. He's 1800 beat stick, which is really high attack for back then. He's 1900 defense, which is quite high defense. And the best thing is, when you attack a monster, you can decrease his attack points and inflict piercing damage. We've got Ashura Priest, which deals with annoying goat tokens and just big monsters on the field. Once again, it's a light, so it's Chaos Food. We got our Breaker. You know, it pops back row and nice 1900 beaten with its token. 1600 still is pretty good attack points for back then. Got Blade Knight. Do need to get the hollow version of this. I really want to get the tin version because it just looks so nice. But at the moment, I'm doing with a common. What this guy does is, if he's the only monster on the field, he negates flip effects when he attacks into a monster. And if you have, I think it's
1 or 0.
one or less cards in your hand, he goes up to 2k, which is just really awesome.
Yeah.
And being a light, he's Chaos Food. We've got Tribe. You know, you pitch a card and you declare a monster type, beast, spellcaster, or whatever. And it's really good for clearing up them scapegoat tokens, getting their annoying big boss monsters off the field, and things like that. We've got DD Warrior Lady. It's Chaos Food again, but it also gets annoying threats off the field. Like, for instance, if they have a BLS, you just slam it into a BLS or set it. And when something attacks it, or you attack their monster with this, you get to remove them both from play, so it removes threats. Next, we've got a mini engine, the GK engine. 2 spies and a guard. Spy gets me out another spy or a guard, depending. Guard's nice by himself. 1900 defense, bounces back a monster with flip face up. And the spies, a nice 2k defense walls, which is really high defense. And it allows me to set up for tribute plays, because, you know, they attack a spy, flip it over, get another spy, tribute a spy for something like a Jinzo or something like that.
Why 2 though?
Why 2?
Yeah.
Because he's good standalone by himself, and one spy can get another spy, or it can get the guard, depending. If I draw the guard by himself, it's fine. I've still got the 2 spies in deck.
Yeah.
If I draw spy and guard, I can still set the spy and get the other spy.
That's fair enough.
Plus, deck space is quite tight anyway.
Yeah.
We've got Sangan for searchability. Apparently, the Power Rangers are in town. I like Sangan, you know, chaos fodder and things like that. Nice bring back for when they play MC on your back, where you chain that card, which could be something like Call the Haunted, and you bring him back, and obviously it dies and you get the search. And it's also nice to play with Metamorphosis as well.
Absolutely.
We got 2 Night Assailants. Basically, it's got a nice effect. You set it, and when it flips face up, it blows up a monster. It's Chaos Food, and it's got a really nice secondary effect. When it's discarded, you get to add back a flip effect monster from your graveyard to your hand. So there is a little bit of a loop. If you have one engraved, one in hand, you discard one, you can get back the other one. Or you can just discard it, get back something like Magician of Faith, Morphin Jar, GK Spy, GK Guard. You know, there's a lot of synergy with the deck. It works with when they Delinquent Duo you, works with Morphin Jar, and all things like that. And Lightning Vortex and stuff like that. And we've got Morphin Jar, replenishes the hand, gets rid of the opponent's hand. I'm a little bit iffy on this card, to be honest, because I've, if you like, been a bit reluctant to get rid of some of my hands, but other times it's really good. I don't know, this may come out, I'm not entirely sure, but it's nice for refilling hands. Then we've got 2 Magician of Faith. Don't want to really run 3. 3 can be a bit cloggy, and it just gets me back my spells. Plus, this is really nice to play Metamorphosis on once you've got your spell back and get out that Thousand Eyes Restrict. Onto the spells. We've got a nice Pot of Greed. Draw 2 cards. Grace of Charity lets you draw 3, discard 2. And we got Delinquent Duo. This, back in the day, was known as the Trinity. The Unholy Trinity. You draw 2 cards, get that Graceful Charity, you draw 3 cards, discard 2, which would probably be something like your Night Assailant, or your Sister Serpent, which I'm not running, because I personally feel that Sister Serpent isn't really worth running. But that's just my opinion. You know, I didn't duel in this format, I'm just looking back on reflection and giving my thoughts on it now.
Fair enough.
And then Delinquent Duo, you pay a grand and discard one random card from their hand, and then the opponent has to choose a card in their hand to discard as well. Then we move on to limited cards. Heavy Storm for back row clearance, MST for that spot removal. We've got Premature Burial, which is like your Monster Reborn, because Monster Reborn wasn't legal back in April 05. You pay 800 life points, you bring back a monster, it's equipped to it. So if someone goes MST on that card, your monster dies. The reason this card cannot come back is because it is too abusable. I mean, you can search out Premature Burial with things like Hidden Armory and
Powerful Dragon,
things like that. And there was a awful loop involving Brionac in this card. So this card can't really come back unless they really fix the format specifically for it.
I think there's also DeLorean, Tiger King.
Oh yeah, DeLorean. Well. You've got Snatch Steal. You take control of your opponent's monster, but during each of their standby phases they gain a grand. So really, you just want to Snatch Steal their big monster, smack them in the face with it, then main phase 2, play your Metamorphosis, and get out one of your fusion monsters so they don't gain that grand. Lightning Vortex, field clearance. Has a discard outlet for your Night Assailant and things like that. Swords, if you need that little bit of extra time. 2 goats, because I'm not running goat control. It's protection, and you know, that's a nice restrict fodder with your Metamorphosis. 2 Book of Moon instead of 3. 2, I feel is right. Side in the 3rd if you're really having defensive trouble, if you're getting really pushed by an aggro deck.
Yeah.
There's a really nice combos to be had with this card. You can flip down your Magician of Faith and reflip her, get back some spells. You can flip down your Morphin Jar and replenish your hand. You can do all sorts of nice flippy things. It's also nice for just like flipping their monster face down, tribute a monster off, go air Night Power Chef, run over, flip battle damage, draw a card. And then there's another combo with this card, with this following card. Nobleman of Crossout. As Dark Magician 84 knows, this combo is evil.
Yes, yes, it is.
You Book of Moon their monster, then you play Nobleman of Crossout if you really can't get around it, and you banish their monster. Nobleman of Crossout is a really powerful card for this format. It's got rid of a lot of threats. I mean, your opponent had a set monster, and you read it as something like, I don't know, a Magician of Faith. You get rid of their Magician of Faith, but then it gets rid of yours. So it's not without its own sting, if you like, but it does get rid of those annoying threats.
Yeah.
Finally, for the spell lineup, we've got 2 Metamorphosis to tribute off your monsters and get things up the extra deck for. Alright, moving on to the traps. As you can see, I run a shed load of spells. For the traps, we've got Rod. Richie has felt my rod twice today.
That is so wrong on so many levels.
It's a very nice game ender. It gets big threat monsters out the way, and I don't think there's anything more that could be said about that. But yeah, I'd like to see this card come back.
Yeah, well, everyone knows how I feel about this card.
I wouldn't mind seeing them come back either.
Call of the Haunted, you know, it's a revival card. You ditch things with Graceful Charity or things that died, you just bring it back. Combo's nice with Sangan, things like that. We've got a 1 Mirror Force, you know, blanket destruction if they got lots of attack point monsters. Sekaratsu Armor, single destruction, gets rid of annoying monsters. TT, field clearance, Dust Tornado. Extra spell and trap removal if you need it. You destroy the spell trap and then you get the option of setting a spell trap, so it can be quite nice to go Dust Tornado, set the MST, they draw for their turn, MST their back row. So yeah, that's the main deck. We'll move on to the extra. There is no side because I haven't figured one out yet. It's difficult enough building the main and fitting all the power cards in that there is without building a side.
I didn't even have a side deck from back then. Except right at the end.
The extra deck limit was then known as the fusion deck for you newer players, and there was no limit. Whereas now it's 15 cards, there was no limit on the fusion deck. So this is what I got. I got 2,000 Ice Restrict. Would like another secret, but hey ho, it's difficult enough getting your hands on these guys as it is.
Is one common?
No, super.
Yeah, very.
For our level 3s, we got Fusionist and Cherubin. Just two random level 3 fusions I had lying around. There are better level 3 fusions, but these are just ones I had on me. Level 5s, we got 2 Reaper of the Nightmares. Not only can this card attack directly, but also makes them discard a card as well. And I believe it cannot be destroyed by battle. Field. I don't think. Yeah, this card cannot be destroyed as a result of battle, so it's really nice. But like, it is essentially like Spirit Reaper, but with more attack points, and it can attack directly.
Not by much then.
No, not by much, but it's still very nice. You know, if they haven't got many cards in hand, you just sit on this guy and just go poke, make you discard, poke, make you discard, poke, make you discard.
Naturally.
A bit like Yatterlock.
God, don't get me started on that.
We got 2 Fiend Skull Dragons. This card is really, really cool. It's 2k beat stick, and it negates all flip effects when it destroys a monster. I think it's just when it destroys a monster. It's also got a special field, negate all flip effect monsters. And then, in addition, any track cards that would target him, he negates them. Plain and simple.
Simples.
We've got 2 Dark Ball to the Terrible. You pay £1,000 and you negate normal spell cards. And the effect of monsters that this card destroyed by battle are negated. So it stops things like Sangan. We got, moving on to the 6s, we got Ojama King. He serves no real purpose apart from to clog up your opponent's field because he takes up 3 spaces. You'll really want to put him in defence because he's got a 3k ass.
3k? Oh.
He's just, yeah, he's just in there for troll factors. So it clogs up 3 of the opponent's spots, so they've only got 2 left. They can't play the scapegoats. It's chaos food and things like that. We've got 2 Ryu Senshis. Can't remember this guy's effect, but he does good stuff. He negates the effect of a track card by paying £1,000, so he's like Dark Bolter. And he also negates the effect of a magic card that would specifically designate him as a target. So he's a bit like Dark Bolter and Fiend Skull Dragon in one. Then we got our Dark Blade, moving on to a 7. Dark Blade the Dragon Knight. Each time it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, I can select up to 3 monster cards in the graveyard and remove them from play. So it screws up their graveyard set up for chaos.
Essentially a Kaiku.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kaiku in fusion form.
Then we got King Dragon for Oh wait, that's a 6. Sorry, this is a 7. King Dragon. As long as the card moves face up the field, your opponent cannot target Dragon type monsters for the effects of spell, trap, or monster cards. And once per turn, you can special summon one Dragon type monster from your hand or your side of the field. So it's pretty nice. You know, it's pretty much immune to all monster spell and trap effects.
The old version of Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon in a way.
Yeah. Then we got Gatling Dragon, which is just awesome. It's a level 8. If you ever really can get a level 8, it's quite nice if you snatch steal something like the BLS or something like that. Yeah. You just want to get rid of it, and you go Gatling Dragon. It's a 2600 stick, but its effect is just so funny. It's toss a coin 3 times, and you destroy a number of monsters on the field equal to the number amount of times as heads, and you can only use the effect once per turn during the main phase. I think it's once per turn. Once per turn during the main phase. So you just flip a coin 3 times. If you get 3 heads, you blow up 3 monsters. It's that simple. So yeah, that's my deck profile. Rate, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. I'll see if I can get a deck profile of Richie's. I mean, he'll probably upload his on his channel anyway, but I'm just going to try and get a profile of everyone's.
Once I've
once Scapegoat User puts his together.
Yeah. Well, it shouldn't
I'll quite
take me
happy
too
to do
long.
mine again.
It shouldn't take me too long. I've just got to actually go through the massive cards I've got and find all the bits. And
Yeah.
I could always do mine again on this channel.
I could probably do it tonight.
That's fair enough. Right. Well, stay tuned for more 05 duels and deck profiles and other random shiz. Catch you all later. See you next.
See you later.
Peace.